Once upon a time in a peaceful forest, there lived many animals and insects. Near the forest there was a small river with clear water. One sunny day, an ant was walking near the riverbank, looking for food. She was carrying a small piece of bread on her back. While she was busy walking, she didn't notice a slippery rock near the edge. Suddenly, she lost her balance and fell into the river. The ant couldn't swim and struggled to stay above the water.
The current of the river was strong, and the ant was being carried away. She called out, "Help! Someone, please help me." But the animals nearby were too far to hear her. The ant started to lose hope. Just then, a dove sitting in a tree heard her cries. The dove looked down and saw the tiny ant struggling in the water. "Oh no," said the dove, "that poor ant is in trouble. I must help her." The dove quickly flew down from the tree.
The dove had an idea to save the ant. She flew to a nearby tree and picked a large leaf with her beak. She carried the leaf over to the river and dropped it close to the ant. The leaf floated on the water like a small boat. The ant saw the leaf and climbed onto it. She was safe now, thanks to the dove. The ant looked up at the dove and said, "Thank you so much for saving my life. I will never forget your kindness."
The dove smiled and said, "It's always good to help others. You are safe now, little ant." The ant stayed on the floating leaf until she reached the riverbank. Once she was back on land, she rested for a while. She thought about how lucky she was that the dove had helped her. "I wish I could do something to thank the dove," the ant said to herself. She continued her day, carrying her piece of bread, but she never forgot what the dove did for her.
A few days later, the ant was walking near the same river. She saw the dove sitting on a tree branch, looking peaceful and happy. "That's the dove who saved me," the ant thought. She wanted to thank the dove again, but before she could, something caught her attention. A man was walking through the forest with a bow and arrow. He was a hunter, and he was looking for animals. The ant noticed that the hunter was looking at the dove.
The hunter stopped and aimed his bow at the dove. The ant felt scared for her friend. "Oh no," she thought, "the hunter wants to hurt the dove." The ant wanted to help the dove, but she was so small. She didn't know what to do at first. Then she had an idea. She quickly ran toward the hunter. The ant climbed up the hunter's shoe and onto his leg. She was very brave because the hunter was so big, but she didn't stop.
The ant climbed higher until she reached the hunter's knee. Then she kept going until she was on his arm. The hunter was still aiming at the dove, not noticing the tiny ant. The ant knew she had to act fast. She climbed onto the hunter's hand and bit him as hard as she could. The hunter felt a sharp pain and dropped his bow. "Ouch!" he shouted. The dove heard the noise and flew away quickly. The ant had saved her friend.
Once the dove was far away, the hunter picked up his bow and looked around. He couldn't see the dove anymore. "What was that?" he said, looking at his hand. The ant had already jumped off and was hiding in the grass. The hunter gave up and walked away. The ant felt proud of herself. She had helped the dove, just like the dove had helped her. "I kept my promise," the ant thought, "and I showed my friend that I care."
Later that day, the dove returned to the tree where she usually sat. She didn't know what had happened with the hunter. The ant climbed up the tree and went to see her. "Hello, dove," the ant said. "I saw a hunter aiming at you with his bow. I stopped him by biting his hand. You flew away, so you are safe now." The dove was surprised. "You saved my life?" the dove asked. "Thank you, little ant. You are very brave."
The ant smiled and said, "I was only doing what you did for me. You saved me from the river, so I wanted to help you too." The dove felt happy and grateful. "You are a true friend," the dove said. "We helped each other, and that is what friendship is about." From that day on, the dove and the ant became best friends. They often spent time together near the river, sharing stories and enjoying the beauty of the forest.
The story of the dove and the ant spread throughout the forest. Other animals and insects heard about their friendship and how they helped each other. They admired the ant for her bravery and the dove for her kindness. The story became a lesson for everyone in the forest. It showed them that even small creatures can do big things, and that helping others is always important. The forest became a happier place because the animals learned to care for one another.
One sunny morning, the dove and the ant were sitting by the river. They talked about how their friendship started. "Do you remember when I dropped the leaf for you?" the dove asked. "Of course," said the ant. "That leaf saved my life. I will never forget it." The dove smiled and said, "And I will never forget how you saved me from the hunter." They both laughed and felt happy. They knew their friendship was special because it was built on kindness and trust.
The dove and the ant became an example for everyone in the forest. Other animals started helping each other more. They realized that teamwork and kindness made life better for everyone. The dove often reminded the other birds, "Never think someone is too small to make a difference." The ant told the insects, "We can be brave no matter how tiny we are." Their words inspired everyone to be more caring and helpful. The forest became a place full of friendship and cooperation.
One day, the ant saw a butterfly struggling in a spider's web. She quickly ran to help. She worked hard to free the butterfly, even though it was difficult. The butterfly thanked the ant and said, "You are so kind and brave." The ant replied, "I learned it from my friend, the dove." The butterfly flew away, feeling grateful. The ant felt happy because she was helping others, just like the dove helped her. She knew that kindness could make the world a better place.
The dove also continued to help others. One evening, she saw a group of small birds trying to build a nest. They didn't have enough leaves and twigs. The dove flew around and collected what they needed. "Thank you, dove," the small bird said. "You are so kind," the dove replied. "It's always good to help." The dove felt proud because she was making a difference in the lives of others. She knew that kindness always comes back in unexpected ways.
The dove and the ant often shared their story with the younger animals in the forest. They wanted to teach them the value of helping others. One day, a young squirrel asked, "How can we be brave like you, ant?" The ant replied, "Bravery isn't about size. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's hard." The dove added, "And kindness can make you strong. When you help others, you feel happy and confident." The young animals listened carefully, inspired by their words. As time passed, the dove and the ant became known as the heroes of the forest. Their story brought animals together and made them closer. The ant's bravery and the dove's kindness showed that true strength comes from working together. One evening, the dove said to the ant, "We have done so much good by helping others." The ant replied, "Yes, and we will continue to do so." Our story can teach everyone to be better and kinder.
One day, a storm came to the forest. Many animals were scared and needed help. The dove flew around, helping birds find safe places to hide. The ant guided small insects to dry ground. After the storm passed, the animals thanked them. "You always help us," they said. The dove replied, "Helping others is what makes us strong." The ant added, "When we care for each other, we can face any challenge together." Their teamwork brought hope to the forest.
The dove and the ant spent many years as best friends. They continued to teach others about bravery and kindness. The forest animals respected them and often visited them to hear their stories. "Your friendship is special," a young rabbit once said. "It shows us that even different creatures can become great friends." The dove and the ant smiled and said, "Friendship and kindness have no limits. They can bring everyone together and make the world a better place."
The story of the dove and the ant reminds us all of important lessons. It teaches that no act of kindness is too small and that even the tiniest creatures can make a big difference. It shows that bravery and kindness go hand in hand, creating strong friendships and better communities. Just like the dove and the ant, we can all choose to help others and face challenges together. Their story will always inspire us to be caring, brave, and kind.